Right, we pick up the start of the game, the second quarter. Scores 2-2 to 3-4. One goal, two advantage to the Geelong Districts, but they did kick with the advantage of the breeze in that first quarter. Comes out to where it's a handball coming towards Scotty McFarlane, but he's taken on there by Cornwall. He's played a good game, takes a bounce across the ground. Now McFarlane kept the pressure on. It comes out there to where it's Corey Baxter. Baxter back there to its player Full Forster. Forster takes the free kick for a tackle too high, and these opening minutes will be crucial. If KNT bangs on some quick ones, you might be the Geelong Districts might be in a bit of trouble, but there's the full-back taking a good mark there, the big fella in Cowie. Cowie's going to have a lot of work to do this quarter. I think he's a bit undecided now. He kicks towards the defensive side. He's worked that out pretty quick. That's the defensive side of this narrow foot ground with the wind blowing the way it is. So we've got a boundary thrown on the far side, opening minutes of this second quarter, and KNT I think would be pretty happy with that first quarter, the way things went. They had a good team contribution going into that breeze. Backman did a great job, and forwards made the most of a couple of opportunities. Yeah. From the bit of passage of play over there, it comes out for handball from Jackson. Jackson's gets the ball over there where it's 22 there in Michael Jones. Jones, we called him a couple of times in the first quarter. The Panola player kicks it down to where that's the big fella Cowie again. Two passages of play he's been involved in. Once again, he's got the knack of striding away and kicks up without too much pressure to the outer side. High fly there by O'Toole. He can't take the mark, and it's forced out of bounds for a boundary throw-in on the far side of this narrow court oval. It's a top condition considering the week of weather we've had. Not a drop of water on it. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they're not playing with a dry ball out there now.
Certainly.
From the boundary throw-in, it comes to Skirmer. Skirmer's tap comes to favour Geelong and Districts. It's hooked back with a high kick in the air. Big high fly there by Stormy Winter from narrow court. He took a great mark there, and he'll bomb the ball back in long as they don't. Well, that's a mistake. That is. That's using the wind to disadvantage. Just bombing it high and hoping for the best. Now it comes back with a bit more team players. They kick to the attacking side, and we've got Corey Baxter. It is. He's a neat-looking player as he kicks the ball in, looking for the big player there in Skirmer. Skirmer can't take it. Mopping up there for Geelong and Districts is Spicer. Spicer's got to the ruckman. He's under a bit of trouble. That was Vilkins. Pressure on the goal square. A little bit of feeling there is. The umpire come in with a rush, but I think he was just thwarting anything that might have happened. Nothing did happen, but it was on if perhaps another couple of seconds if he hadn't have stepped in. From the bounce down, we've got the ruckman there. It's Skirmer. Oh, big fly from the back from Geelong and Districts. A defensive tap, and didn't pick who it was, Ron, but it was defensive passage of play.
Yeah, great work it was, and yeah, Sydney Jones, I think you'll find, is doing some constructive work in defence at the present time, and you know, he loves to cover plenty of turf. As the number 5 Guernsey and Daryl Jones, as Cowie now plays on, and he loves to do that, and it's good football. He's going a good 30 metres. Let's just see if he can pick someone out. He looks there for Scott. That he can't take it, but he battles on for the football, overruns it, taps it now forward, but oh, bad play because it's allowed now Jones to come in on the left foot, lovely footy, and find his little resting rover.
And James.
Yes, it is. Long bomb, good lead, good football, KNT, and an opportunity here, and I think you'll find it's the full forward in James Bury.
16 there,
I mucked it up.
And it's Roger Gibbs.
Roger Gibbs wasn't picked in the initial squad.
Just trying to pick him up on the team sheet. I don't think he's there, but Gibbs it is.
He's there, he is. Yeah, no, he was. Nice looking kick. Just offline.
Just talking about players not in the team, I've got a feeling, in fact I'm sure, that number 1, Simon Neve's not out there. He played in a premiership for the West Torrens Woodville Eagles in the SANFL 2 years ago, so he's a player with a lot of league experience and a good player who's not out there. He was picked in the team, and he's locally born and bred at Keith, so he would have been in the team if he was fit. So that's one notable admission from the KNT side. But from the kick-off, it's Cowie once again, a good long kick, but it's come out with a handball from Geelong and Districts running players on the outside, and it was down to where we've got Tyquin. Tyquin looks like he's struggling a bit running into the wind. He's almost leaning over trying to get into the breeze. It's 17 there now in Camarato. He gets around the banana bender, goes down hard behind play. It comes a little rover there in Colliger. Colliger can't do too much with it. There's a loose handball, comes back out to the direction of Flanagan. Flanagan has a pop shot for goal. Defenders there for KNT. It was a one-on-one battle in the end. 23 putting the pressure on was Andrews, and it was Buff Jude taking the mark. He's as solid as a rock back there at fullback.
Certainly is, Johnny. Rocket Gibraltar, long bomb up there looking for Skirmer. Got a push, yes. A little tough on the egg, I felt, but advantage paid. Breaking clear now is Ian Clark. Out to the outer side of the ground, looks for Stouty. He picks it up, feeds off the hand pass inboard. Looking for Forster, he does, but good pressure football, GDFL. Force the error and another boundary throw in outer side. Centre wing position here at Marracourt, where GDFL leading by 6 points, early stages of the second quarter.
Yes, if that win was going to be a big factor, I think the KNT would have had a goal on board now, but there's Chuka McCarthy. Kicks in short. He was sort of looking for something else to happen then, and I was waiting for it to happen because you never know that guy. He does the things that most other guys haven't got the time to do. And if that sounds double Dutch, well, it might be, but he's just one of them sort of players that catches you unaware. He didn't have anything to go on with, and he's kicked within a stray. From out of all that, though, we got Geelong and Districts clearing, and it comes back down to where we got Davey. Davey deliberately kicks in short, looking for a leading player there in Andrews. Andrews is over the top of an opponent, but play on's the call. Gurney leaves it there as a player pulled down without the ball. Forster it was, play on's the call. Comes back towards Jude. Jude battles hard and kicks a high, long kick where turns defence into attack. That's what I was trying to say.
You got it out.
Oh, eventually I did. Comes to where Scotty McFarlane can't take it. And defensive work there, scooped out by Spicer. Spicer over there towards Jackson. Jackson towards the outer side wing, and he's picked up Flanagan. Flanagan kicks with a high left foot, props it up in the air, looking there for Tyquin. Tyquin's not in it at this stage of the game, and Geelong and Districts are missing out on a few opportunities up there, and it comes out to where they got the run of the ball through 13 in Davey.
Comes in from 30 metres. Oh, don't tell me he's hit the post. Yes, he has. 25 metres out from goal. Running in, admittedly, to the non-scoring end where the breeze is a little tough and tricky, but should have done better on that occasion.
Funny sort of a game. The ball's been sort of in around the centre lines and half forward, half back areas for both teams without much deliberate attacking going on. But KNT now going forward out to where Geelong and District's got a player under a lot of pressure. He goes to the ground. It comes back out there where it's O'Toole. O'Toole gets it back to the previous player picking up. That was 3. That was Eves.
Yep.
Eves with a good one down towards where it says 17, the banana bender. He can't take it. He's under pressure from Jude. They go to the ground. Good battle between them two. It's scrimmaged along the ground, almost thrown back into play. It's out of bounds before that, but it was virtually a glorified scoop.
Yeah, it certainly was, and luckily he wasn't penalised, but the Geelong umpire letting that one go, as we see some good work now in the aerial contests, and the big man Ian Clark did well. Got it to McCarthy, goes right across the outer side of the ground, looks for the run over Stouty, and he's got a panic, this youngster. Had 2 bounces. Will he have another one? No, he's going to have a look up the ground and go bang with a lovely long penetrating half drop punt. Looks there, but it's too well weighted for his teammate in Skirmer. Loose ball now at half back, whistle on play, and I think you'll find it's looks like Stewie Scott gets the free kick for the Geelong side.
Geelong going defensive towards the outer side, and the big man there, and Filkins. Filkins gets the handball over to another bigger player in Membry. Membry, he doesn't do it all that well. Comes to big Hank Badell. He kicks the ball in short. It's just over the top of 14 there in Skirmer. It is. Skirmer's done a few good things. That time he was just a little bit too far under the ball, and it's forced out of bounds for a boundary throw in. And Geelong and Districts take nothing away from them. They're defending well. KNT going with a pretty strong breeze and haven't got a major on the board in this second quarter. From the boundary throw on the outer side, it was Skirmer once again, got the tap down where it's scrimmaged around Geelong and Districts clearing. Ball comes to us towards Jackson. Jackson can't get it clear, and there's another pack of players develop, and ugly sort of football on the far side of the ground. Nothing much happening at all, and both teams striving to get the ball in the clear, but that's so evenly matched, it's hard for anybody to break clear.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good call, Johnny. The pressure and attention there from great tackling from both sides, just creating probably not as glorified for football as we'd like to see, but it's good, tough stuff, and well, I'm sure that both sides will be doing their best to just get that ball moving a little quicker if they can. Some knock-ons and so forth. Those little 1%ers that we were talking about earlier, as we see a great knockout there from the big ruckman. I think it was Surma. Got it to ground, but again, Geelong doing okay at ground level. Nice bit of work there, Scott. His kick, though, inaccurate, and it's allowed now again. Stouty, over the top he goes, backs to left foot, long bomber. All use of the body. Cowie's in there again, the fullback. doing a fine job for the Geelong District Footy League. Cuts off an opportunity there for the KNT. Out of bounds, about 10 metres from the KNT goal.
Yes, KNT with the opportunity to score here. The ball's down deep in their attacking zone. Ruckman fly high, Skirmer gets a tap towards Jones. It was Michael Jones, 22, had the shot for goal and put it straight through. That was a good snap there. Yes, it was Michael Jones. Just checking on the score list, but that's even things right up now. I think KNT will move along to 3-4. We'll just check the board in a moment, but 3-5 to Geelong and Districts as we're waiting for the ball to be relayed back.
A real
Ablett
goal, wasn't it?
It was, and there we have it. 3-4-22. Geelong and Districts 3-5-23, and that's really even things right up. It's one of those sort of games. Often when the wind is strong like this, play is all down one end, but it's been up and down the ground, and it's made it a good contest.
Certainly.
Talking about contests, it comes out of the centre once again, and that's Ian Clark over the ball. One guy that's not in the contest at the moment is Tyquin. He didn't put a great deal of effort into that passage of play, as it's relieved by KNT down there where it's tapped down, where Scott McFarlane puts a heavy tackle on his opponent, and goes where we've got the player there in Eves. Eves with the ball, kicks the ball in, centres the ball, comes back to where it's Vincent. Vincent can't take it. A player pulled off the ball without it. Comes towards Hector Clark. Clark back towards Gary James. James shrugs off a tackle and gets it back to Vincent. Vincent on to Jude. He comes from full back to get the ball. Kicks it into the back of a teammate. It bounces luckily towards Vincent. Jude, 23 it was there in James. Gary James soccers along the ball. Desperation by KNT. But the handball comes out to the goal kicker. Jones it was, back to where we've got KNT over the ball with Winter. Winter now will relieve. He kicks back towards Scotty McFarlane. He can't judge it. Eves had a crack at it, but it was overrun the ball. Comes back towards Baxter. Baxter with Scotty McFarlane, taps it between his legs, back towards Gary James, and it's a nothing passage of play here. I can't find anything really to really get that excited about it. So it's just sort of, I don't know, going between players' legs and scrapping around. Got a player in the trainer's hands, Cousins. Let's hope he's all right. He's called for the wet towel. The trainer looks up at the umpire and thinks the blood rule may come into effect. I think it's not serious, but enough to take him out of the play for the time being. Drew Gurney got the tap across to McFarlane. McFarlane on to Jones. Jones for the long kick down towards full forward. Players fly. Nobody at the back of the pack except for Geelong and Districts. We had Spicer. Spicer's done a bit down there in the back pocket in this quarter, and we see the ball out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Yes, certainly, and just looked like coming onto the ground for the Geelong and District side is Chris Delaney. They're warming up now to replace an injured Johnny Cousins. Let's hope he's okay as we wait now. Ball out of bounds in the left forward pocket, about 20 metres from the KNT goal. Kicking with the advantage of the breeze, but haven't really utilised that as yet. Vilkins, good work, got it down towards Colliger, but again he lost his footing on that occasion, and we'll have another boundary throw in.
Boundary umpires earning their money today. Plenty of work to be done on that far side as the wing teams carry the ball across there, but from the throw-in it comes to where KNT have got numbers at the ball, but once again Cowie's there. He's done a fine job bottling things up, and also for his size he can be attacking too, and this time he goes for the safety of the boundary line, and another boundary throw-in just a little bit closer to the KNT scoring zone, about 20 metres around from the throw-in. It's a pack of players once again. Nobody can get it out. Player with the ball was Gary James. So he was besieged by Geelong and District's opponents, and once again we see a bounce down on far side, and we've got that player there, and Skirmer tries to do a bit of ruck work there for the KNT, but it was all to no avail, and it's out of bounds for a boundary throw. And once again we've got a player limping off here, and I think it's that guy. Perhaps I was a bit tough bagging him. He's got a sore leg.
Hurt pride maybe.
Sore leg.
Okay.
It was Wayne Tyke when it was going off. Coming on in his place is number 15 in Chris Delaney.
Yes, interesting. They put Caramel.
Have a look at this though. Chuck
Yeah.
McFarlane, McCarthy with the shot for goal. I thought he might have put that a little bit closer to the goal square, but he was under a little bit of pressure. Comes back down towards Jones. Jones picks it up neatly. It has got a teammate running past. The ball's kicked towards the boundary line. Bounces right on the line. Vincent can't take it, and it's out of bounds for a boundary throw-in right in front of the club rooms here. at Narracourt.
Wholesale changes too, I'd suggest, and we see coming onto the ground for KNT is Paul Oakley, is it?
Yes, Paul Oakley from Edenhope, good player for Edenhope. Last year, Edenhope were really in the doldrums, and Paul was one of their best players week in, week out. Never gave up trying, so he'll enjoy the opportunity of playing in a top-class game of footy.
Certainly, back to the footy now. It's on centre wing member's side, bursting his way through, lost the footy, McFarlane. Now, GDFL, can they try and capitalise here with the forward move? Oh, Delaney came through, and he might have collected that player, and he doesn't look too good either.
Bates it is. Got up,
okay.
Dave.
He's pretty tough, that boy.
Yes, he is. Rubs the back of the head, and the umpire puts the ball down once again. Oh, a high fly there by Andrews, but comes back down to where it's Winter. Winter's caught with the ball, and the umpire said too long. A little bit
tough.
Bit savage, I think, there. He sort of got the ball away, and he didn't have a lot of time before that, but that's been and gone now, and it's Mark O'Toole with the free kick, pops it in short, and he finds that man Jones. Jones has been all round the ground, but the boundary line won out there. Jones is not all that happy about that. In fact, I don't particularly blame him. I just took that as a mark and didn't even take the boundary line into consideration.
It was clearly a mark. Clearly a mark.
I would have thought so, yes. So it's Winter it is. Kicks the ball back towards the centre of the ground. It's very high. Medell with the run of the ball when perhaps he should have been in position to take the mark. But over the top, it's a scrubby looking kick. Comes back to that player that got dropped before in 19 in Bates. But player over the ball in
good commitment,
Sturmer it was.
Oh.
Now Big Hank, he's had enough of this. He's been off the ball and got a bit cold. He decided it's time to warm up. So the Big Burger, he warms things up, and he's warmed up the opponent as well, but nothing come of it. And now we see the boundary, the bounce down, the ball's pushed towards the outer side once again. Michael Jones with a scrubby looking kick, but he's put down behind play.
Well, Sid was a bit late on that tackle, just getting his frustrations out on this last indiscretion on this side of the ground, I think you'll find.
I think it might have been, yes, but it's David Chuka McCarthy to take the relayed kick on the far side of the ground. McCarthy having a look, he runs around now, kicks towards full forward, nothing much offering, so the ball's there in the right spot if anybody's good enough, but it's Cowie charges through, can't get clear with a handball. There's got to be a free kick there going direction of Cornwall. So Cornwall to relieve for the Geelong and Districts, and it's been one of those games where the teams are just sort of battling it out, slogging it out with neither side getting a ascendancy. Looking at the back of the pack, James Bury, he's holding a leg. I think it first looked like the Niagara Falls, but it's the leg, I think. And he's hobbling around, but the ball's out of bounds on the far side.
He's in a bit of trouble too, that fellow, the full forward. His left knee, I think you'll find. But let's hope he's okay, as the ball is on that outer side half forward flank for the KNTs. Now, Geelong and District need a little bit of work here from Vilkins. In front, good work, got it down. Jackson was there, but likewise doing some strong work there was Stouty. And I think you'll find again another throw in on some, pretty pressurised footy, I'd call it. It's probably not the most attractive at the minute, but, well, they're having a red-hot go both sides.
Well, they are, and I just wish it'd come a little bit closer. It's been on that far side for some considerable time. That's once again, it's on the far side, and you guessed it, it's another boundary thrown. So it's getting a little bit repetitious on that far side. It's incredible how the weather can even drag down the better players.
Yep,
but we've got the cream of the two leagues playing here, and we've only got 3-5 to 3-4 on the board, and the elements are playing a big part in reducing the game to not much more than a scramble at this stage, and that's exactly what's happened over there again. Players going down like 9 pins. The umpire walks in and indicates that he'll bounce it once again.
Yeah, well, we've been going 16 minutes of this second quarter, and the visitors, the Geelong District Footy League, have had 1 point, and the KNTs are 1 goal 2 for the term.
James Bury, the player we was talking about, the sore leg has come off, and replacing him is Gibbs at full forward. From the that passenger play, it was Vincent. Vincent kicked it in towards McCarthy. McCarthy finds space and runs around. Cooley kicks it, but it's a scrubby looking kick towards McCarthy. He can't take it as Cornwall's there. Once again, players dive on top of it. But it's incredible how many scrimmages we've had in the last few minutes of this game.
Yes, I think the wind has just picked up, a little bit of rain falling too, just making conditions a little bit uncomfortable and slippery for the fellas. And, well, I suppose they've been pretty well spoilt so far this season and not used to these conditions. But away we go. A little quick kick out of the defensive area for the Geelong District side by Eves. We see there trying to pick the footy up was Jackson. he was just congratulated for a great effort by Chrissy Delaney, and we'll have another boundary throw in. It's on the attacking side of the ground, in between half forward and centre wing here. See Eves there, trapped the football, lost it, and again another throw in will take place. And your players just having a little bit of trouble controlling the slippery leather.
Yes, it's been a long while since we've seen any real constructive play. From the boundary throw in, there's still scrimmaged around. We've got the ball close to the boundary line again, and I think the umpires perhaps may pay a few more Tiki-Touchwood free kicks and open things up. It's good to see good tough footy, but perhaps a few free kicks to open things up might be the order of the day. From the boundary throw in now, once again there's a pack of players there. Gary James punches it forward, but it's players over. Well, this time Geelong and Districts clear up in some sort of a fashion towards Davey. Davies over the ball, and this time we see the free kick. Infringing player there was Bates. So Geelong Districts to go into attack, kicking into a strong breeze. The ball holds up at the last moment. Under the ball, it's punched away by Jude. The punch was as good as a kick, and it came out there to direction
have a look
of
behind
Forster.
the play here,
Forster.
the big fella and
Gurney.
Yeah, Gurney and Drainer Andrews just exchanging a couple of left and right combinations.
Sorted things out there now. The Gurney wasn't all that happy with things as an umpire there, but just perhaps we better get back to the play. And up there we've got a set shot for goal, and it's Hector Clark. Not real sure how he got it because I was a little bit distracted there, but Hector Clark lines up and has put it straight through the centre for the KNT goal. So I suppose we should have had our eyes on the play, but it was a bit hard not to watch.
I do apologise for that, but there was a couple of nice exchanges behind the play here.
Well, after a period of time when there was nothing happening,
it livens it up a bit,
it was
doesn't
easy to have a look at that. In fact, it was right in front of us, but out of the end result, it was Ian Clark kicking a goal for the KNT, and they move on to 4-4. The first time they've been in front of the match so far. Geelong and Districts 3-5.
Okay, back to the centre, and KNT, yep, hit the front. Only marginally, 5 points the margin. Bounce down, a good one at that. Favours the big fella there on the ground, Mick Bird, the big bird from Mollawarry. And he'll enjoy this tussle, big ground, and a big opponent as well. So he's going to be tested today.
Bounce down, Hank Bedell gets the clear tap away, but two teammates fought over it. Now it comes back to the direction of Bates. Bates kicks the ball towards the outer side, flying high there. KNT player
Scott
interfered with Scott, so Scott's got the mark, or the free kick, whichever, on the outer side. Scott kicks into the wind, and as we said on a number of occasions, the ball holds up. Bedell went in from the side.
Great mark.
Infringed, or was it a mark? It was. It's coming up with the ball, Geelong and Districts.
Crystal Delaney, I think you'll find left foot to centre half forward, or the Drainer misjudged it, but taps it on unselfishly. Good work, and he gives a bit of pressure and a little bit of carry, and it's on again. Oh, they don't really appreciate each other's company, these two. And
Drew Gurney,
I think you'll find if I was out there, mate, Mr. Gurney wouldn't be walking off the ground. That's just between you and me, of course, because
we've got a goal, incidentally.
Yeah, they have. And he's being a little bit out of bounds, I would suggest, and I'll say no more.
We'll let the pitchers do the talking, otherwise we might say something that might might regret.
I mean, I'm just watching, and I think you've just got to concentrate on the football.
That's incredible. We've had two passages of play that involve that sort of those sort of incidents, and both of them resulted in goals downfield.
Yes, certainly. Certainly.
And the goal kicker for Geelong and Districts is a mystery to me. I'm not real sure who kicked it, but they're in front again. 4 goals.
Maybe our director downstairs can tell us. Noel, did you see who kicked that goal, mate?
No, mate, I didn't.
It's Geelong and District goal, by the way, as well. It moves them now to 4-5. Back in front now of KNT 4-4. And it looks like they've got the big fella now in Hank Boodle at centre half back. After our little friend was sent from the ground, Drew Gurney.
Ah, he went from the ground after all that, didn't
yeah.
Didn't see that happen.
Okay, well, we see, well, I did. Vincent with the footy at half back. Cool in the crisis, lovely footy, and found a teammate there in Australia at centre wing. Over the top he goes, doesn't waste any time. Good run there of Vincent again. Short, opportunity here for them. Long bomb. Back of the pack, well read, Gibbsy, waste no time, shoots at goal, but he's offline.
Yes, that was a costly miss for KNT because that player had a little bit of time to steady, and it would have been pretty handy at that stage of the game. But yes, that player that Drew Gurney had, he would have had a close inspection of the Santa Ana turf here because he was very low to the ground. Gurney just would not let him go. But, well, he's been paid the penalty and taken from the field. From the kick-off, it goes towards the back pocket. Then it's Geelong and Districts to relieve, kicking into the breeze once again to the outer side. Good mark over the top with Jones. No, play on was a call. He flew high. And as a scrimmage develops and the umpire moves in for another bounce down. Bounce down on the far side.
Yes, and well, as you've mentioned, very handy goal to Geelong against the breeze, but football not real attractive as we see players from both sides just can't get a handle on it. Finally, I think it's Vincent, is it? No, it could be Bates, I think you'll find.
Bates it was.
Yes, gets a kick up there. Look, oh, good grab under
Simons.
pressure. Yep, Scotty Simons, good commitment for the footy, and he'll relieve the pressure for the Geelong District side.
A misty shower rain coming across, so we might see the conditions change a little bit now. The ball will, in fact, be slippery as it's kicked high. Good fly there, but at the back it was 22 Jones. Jones' kick was smothered off the boot, and we see another bounce down on the outer side.
Okay.
Bounce down on the far side. We've got 4-5 apiece, so scores locked together, very close to half-time. So in putting the game in its true perspective, it's a good even tussle.
Yeah, it certainly is. Very evenly matched, I think. Just marginally, you may be a little bigger at certain positions on the ground and maybe a tad stronger. But at the present time, as you said, very even contest.
Nothing in it. Scores locked together as we see Geelong and Districts with the free kick from the outer side. As the kick smothered off the boot, comes towards Jones. Michael Jones it is, over the ball. And you can't criticise the endeavour from all players. Sometimes in interleague footy, some guys may hang back a fraction, but today I think everybody's actually giving 110%, and that's perhaps why the game is such a scrambly affair. There's no real easy kicks out there, that's for sure, as we see another bounce down on the far side.
And I think you were right earlier too. I think the umpires have probably got to look a little bit closer and just pick a couple out because it's just from one sort of rugby scrum to another. The
problem is as well that the bounces are pretty hard to get high in the air for the ruckman to get any real constructive play from
Certainly.
it, and continual bounce downs that are only half height aren't going to do much for the game as a spectacle at all. Over the ball now, Scott McFarlane, and once again another bounce down. You're just interested to watch this bounce down. It's rather a spongy oval and a wet ball as well, and it's pretty hard for the umpires to get the ball up where the ruckman can do much about it. That was a good bounce side. It comes towards Stouty. Stouty's quick kick is put down by the big bird, but he recovers and kicks towards the outer side, and it's out of bounds for a boundary throw in. 4-5 apiece, and it must be close to pie time. That's
yep, certainly
been a long quarter.
It has been a long quarter, and well, there's been a few frackers. 25.5 minutes gone on the Bannockburn Sporting Trophies time clock, and we do thank Pam and David Glover for supplying us with again a great guest video Bannockburn Sporting Trophy Best Performer Award here again this afternoon for the best men on the ground, and they'll also receive an Upco Easy Shop glass tankard and of course a guest video keyring, so it's well worth winning.
Certainly is, and it's great to have sponsors getting right behind country footy. From that passage of play, we've got a free kick on this occasion as the siren sounds, and that player will not take the shot too far out from goal, about 70 metres out, and he concedes defeat, tosses it across to the umpire, and that's it, the first half here at Narracourt. The big interleague clash between Geelong and Districts and Carry Narracourt Tatiara Football League. Scores locked together, 4-5 apiece, so we can't get much more even than that to start the second half.
No, certainly not, Johnny, and well, we do thank the Geelong and District Footy League Bingo Centre for providing us with the action of that second quarter, and I'm sure that the respective coaches will have plenty to say. Goal kickers for respective sides, Daryl Jones with 2, and 1 goal to Ashley Davey, and there is a mystery goal kicker. And I reckon our runner down there might be able to tell me, hey Robbo, who kicked the last goal for Geelong District? Thank you very much, Ashley Davey it was, and he kicks his second, as we see that the Cowrie Narracourt Tatiara Football League goal scorers, they've got 4 individuals. Scotty McFarlane, who's been busy, Ian Clark, Corey Baxter, and of course Michael Jones. Back with the action of that third and vital quarter shortly.